Let's get started. 1. The third man syndrome. Imagine being stranded in the middle of the Arctic, frostbitten and delirious, when suddenly you feel a warm presence walking beside you. No one's there, but you know someone's there. They speak to you, guide you, give you strength. This isn't fiction. It's a real phenomenon called the third man syndrome, reported by mountaineers, soldiers, and explorers alike. It's not a ghost, they insist. It's a guardian. Some scientists chalk it up to the brain's coping mechanism under extreme stress. Others say it's a hallucination. But the weird part, these figments often relay accurate information, directions, survival tips, even reassurance, none of which the person logically knew. These phantom companions show up most often in life or death situations. But what are they really? A glitch in perception? A hidden survival code embedded deep in our brains? Or something more spiritual? No scientific model fully explains why these presences seem intelligent or how they know just what to say. When your life is hanging by a thread and someone whispers exactly what you need to hear, even the most hardened skeptic might start to wonder who or what is the third man. 2. Foreign accent syndrome. You wake up from a car crash and suddenly speak English with a thick Russian accent, even though you've never left Kentucky. Sound impossible. Welcome to one of the rarest neurological glitches on Earth. Foreign accent syndrome. FAS is a speech disorder, usually triggered by head trauma, stroke, or neurological injury. It doesn't mean the person learns a new language, it's weirder. Their native speech warps in a way that mimics foreign intonation. British people waking up sounding French. Australians suddenly sounding like Americans. In some cases, people are even accused of faking it. But MRI scans show subtle brain injuries, specifically to the parts of the brain that control pitch, rhythm, and articulation. Still, science is stumped. Why does the damage translate so cleanly into something that sounds like an entirely different nationality? And why are some affected patients deeply emotional, as if mourning the loss of their true identity? There are fewer than 100 confirmed cases worldwide, and each one is a psychological and scientific mystery. It's not a party trick. It's a terrifying identity glitch, where your voice, one of the most intimate parts of who you are, suddenly isn't yours anymore. 3. Musical savant syndrome. Picture this. A 35-year-old construction worker gets struck in the head during a job site accident. He wakes up days later and can play the piano like a prodigy. He's never touched the keys in his life. It sounds like the plot of a superhero origin story, but it's real. It's called sudden musical savant syndrome, and it's one of the most astonishing glitches the human brain can produce. The idea that hidden genius lies dormant in the average person is the stuff of dreams. But for a select few, head trauma unlocks it. Suddenly, they understand music theory, compose original songs, and play with stunning precision. No training, no practice, just raw, inexplicable talent. Scientists think it might be due to the rewiring of neurons or the activation of normally silent areas of the brain. But that doesn't explain how they know advanced patterns, tempo, and structure out of nowhere. Where did the knowledge come from? Is genius embedded in all of us, waiting for the right spark or the right injury to set it free? These stories raise deep questions about memory, consciousness, and the possibility of downloaded skill sets. Because if a blow to the head can make you Mozart overnight, what else is the brain hiding? 4. Cotard's delusion. Some people think they're dead, and not metaphorically, literally. Breathing, blinking, walking human beings who are absolutely convinced they no longer exist. This bizarre condition is called Cotard's delusion, or more chillingly, walking corpse syndrome. First documented in the 1800s, it's a rare but deeply disturbing glitch in the brain's sense of self. Patients report that their organs have rotted away, their blood has dried up, or that they died years ago and are merely going through the motions. Some stop eating, believing dead people don't need food. Others wander into graveyards, waiting to be buried. Neurologically, it's linked to malfunction in the brain regions that process emotion and self-awareness. But even with that knowledge, science can't fully explain how someone can feel alive physically, but know they are dead psychologically. Some theories say it's extreme depression on overdrive. Others suggest it's the brain's attempt to cope with trauma by shutting off reality entirely. But here's the twist. Some patients with Cotards have attempted to prove their own death through self-harm. In their minds, they're not being suicidal, just confirming what's already true. If the mind can erase your existence while you're still breathing, what else can it shut off? 5. Synesthesia. Imagine tasting the color blue or seeing music as bursts of light and texture. For people with synesthesia, That's everyday life. Their senses are cross-wired, creating bizarre combinations most of us can't even imagine. A person might read the number 4 and instantly see it as red, or hear a trumpet and feel the texture of velvet. But here's the kicker. No two synesthetes experience the world the same way. It's not learned, and it's not a trick of the imagination. Brain scans show their sensory areas lighting up in unexpected ways, color regions activating during sound input, or taste centers lighting up from words. And most people don't even realize it's unusual until they discover no one else sees Wednesdays as lime green. Scientists are fascinated but still stumped. Why do some brains form these sensory shortcuts? Is it a glitch or an evolutionary advantage? Some of history's most creative minds, Da Vinci, Tesla, Pharrell Williams, were believed to be synesthetes. Is it a key to genius, or just proof that the brain's wiring diagram is far from standardized? Either way, it's a stunning reminder that reality isn't one size fits all. 6. Alien hand syndrome. You're watching TV totally relaxed when suddenly your left hand starts moving. Not twitching, grabbing. It picks up the remote and throws it across the room. You didn't decide to do that. You didn't even want to, and yet your hand acts with a mind of its own. That's alien hand syndrome, one of the creepiest neurological conditions ever documented, caused by brain trauma or surgery, especially in cases where the left and right hemispheres are surgically separated. This glitch causes one hand to operate independently of the person's will. It can unbutton shirts while the other hand buttons them. It can slap the owner's own face. It may even grab objects or people without permission. And the affected person, they're fully aware it's happening and powerless to stop it. The condition exposes something deeply uncomfortable. Our body isn't one unified thing. It's a coordinated illusion that can break at any moment. If your hand can develop autonomy, what else might? You're falling asleep when bang, a deafening explosion shatters your peace. You jolt awake, heart pounding. But there's no sound, no intruder, nothing. Welcome to exploding head syndrome, a terrifying and poorly understood glitch in the sleep-wake cycle. Victims describe it as a gunshot, an explosion, or a blaring alarm coming from inside their head. It doesn't hurt, but it's paralyzing. You question your sanity, your safety, your reality. The most frightening part? Doctors still aren't sure why it happens. It's not a seizure. It's not a dream. Theories include sudden neural misfires in the brain's auditory processing regions, or issues with transitioning between sleep stages. But the sounds are so vivid, many sufferers wake up thinking they've had a stroke, or that someone broke into their home. Sometimes it's a one-time event. Sometimes it haunts people for years. It's not dangerous, but it breaks the one place you're supposed to feel safe, your own mind, while unconscious. The human brain is supposed to shut down into rest, but sometimes it throws a grenade instead. 8. Terminal lucidity. Your loved one has been unresponsive for days, lost in the final stages of Alzheimer's or dementia. Doctors say the brain is gone. Then suddenly, they sit up, they recognize you, speak clearly, laugh. They're themselves again, and hours later, they die. This phenomenon is called terminal lucidity, and no one can explain it. It's not a slow recovery, it's a sudden clarity, right before death. Documented for centuries, the moment is so precise and so chilling that some hospice workers now expect it. In one famous case, a woman who hadn't spoken in years suddenly began reciting childhood memories in vivid detail, then passed away that evening. These aren't isolated cases. They've happened across cultures, hospitals, and belief systems. Scientists can't pin it to medication, brain inflammation, or simple coincidence. Neurologically, the brain shouldn't be able to function that way at all. But for reasons no one understands, it grants a final burst of awareness before shutting down forever. Is it just a random spark in a dying machine, or is it something deeper, like the soul preparing to exit? 9. Fatal familial insomnia. What if one day you simply stopped sleeping? Not by choice, not due to stress, just stopped. That's the horror of fatal familial insomnia, FFI, a rare inherited brain glitch where the part of your brain that controls sleep, your thalamus, degenerates. And once it starts, there's no off-ramp. Victims begin with mild insomnia, then hallucinations, then total sleep loss. Eventually, their bodies shut down while still awake. The average life expectancy after symptoms begin, 18 months. And worst of all, science has no cure, no treatment, no way to pause the descent. FFI is caused by a prion, a mutated protein that eats away brain matter like acid. And it only needs one bad copy to start the countdown. Even stranger, The person remains fully conscious for most of the illness. They know they're dying. They feel it. They beg for sleep, but it never comes. Sleep medication doesn't work. Sedatives can't override it. The brain just won't sleep. It's the ultimate shutdown glitch. Your operating system's still running as the hardware crumbles. If there's a crueler way to go, science hasn't found it. 10. Sudden savant syndrome. A man gets hit on the head and suddenly becomes a piano prodigy. Another nearly drowns and wakes up solving complex math problems. This isn't fiction. It's called sudden savant syndrome, and it's one of the rarest, most dramatic human glitches ever recorded. These individuals gain insane, almost supernatural abilities in art, math, music, or memory after a traumatic brain event. No years of training, no prior skill, just raw, instant talent. One case, Derek Amato hit his head diving into a pool. Days later, he could play the piano by ear and compose full symphonies, despite never learning music theory. Scientists are stunned. One theory says the brain's inhibitory systems, normally keeping certain functions quiet, get disabled, letting hidden capabilities emerge, like a locked file that suddenly opens. But why does it only happen to a handful of people? Why only certain skills? And why can't we replicate it? No one knows. It's like the brain glitches and accidentally grants you a cheat code, one that no one knows how to trigger again. Genius by accident.